G'day guys, welcome to another video. Now today we are just going to be walking the bank again of the Hunter River. This time we're over at Stockton. We're just going to fish along the walls here and see what we can catch. So during this video I'm just going to run through a few basic tips. If you're new to lure fishing or you're struggling to get your head around lure fishing, just going to run through some basic tips, some of the lures I like to use. So if you're new to fishing and you're into your land-based fishing, yeah, keep watching and we'll run through a few things. So when you're working these vibes here in the Hunter River, it's very influenced on the current and the tide and which way it's running as to how you fish them. So we've got this run out tide at the moment, and so the tide's pushing out this way. So what we want to do is to make sure that lure is getting down to the bottom, we want to cast up into the current so it will sink down as it drifts, and then we work it back towards us. If we were to cast straight out here or even this way, the lure is going to struggle to get down to the bottom. You're going to get dragged pretty quickly into these rocks and stuff. So generally we're fishing up that way. If we want to work this area, then we'd go down maybe off that point over there and cast up this way, and that way we could work that area. But being where we are here, we want to cast up into the current. That way that lure's going to sink down to the bottom as it comes towards us, and we're hopping it up off the bottom as it comes closer to us. So just let it sink down. That line will go really slack because it is sinking down and it is coming towards you still. So just keep putting little winds on it to have a bit of a half a bow still in your line, and then it'll go really slack when it hits the bottom like just then. And all you're doing is vibing it up. You don't have to put too much action into these vibes. They do it all themselves, so you don't have to be too erratic in your movements. But when I'm slowly lifting that up, it's already vibing, it's already being erratic. So very simple lure to use. We don't need to do too much to it. And wait till your line gets slack again, and you just lift it up. You can impart a bit of a more erratic lift if you want with some twitches and stuff, but I don't know, most of the time I think it's unnecessary. Occasionally I'll do it if I'm trying to get a bite and it's a tough bite or something, I don't know, but generally most of the time I'll just be gently lifting that up and down. So that's hit the bottom there now. It's all about being switched onto your line, really, watching that line. It's got a bit of a half bow in it at the moment because it is quite windy, and when it hits the bottom it like kicks out, it goes even more slack like. And that's how you pick up the bites too. A lot of the times you won't feel that much of a pull or a bite per se on your rod. You might just see a little tick in that line. Yeah, there's one. Oh, it's going mental. Stay on, brother. What do we got? It's a nice little flathead. Oh, get up. There we go. There you go, a nice little flathead off the bank here. Just working that Samaki vibe, bouncing it off the bottom. Very effective technique. The flathead love it. If they're hungry and you put one in front of them, they're going to eat it every time. Oh, there you go, buddy. He's off. Alright, so we've spent about 10 minutes working this area now. We found that one fish. We're going to move on. So that's my next tip for chasing flathead. Whether you're land-based or in a boat or wherever, you want to be mobile, you want to keep moving around. So we've worked this area pretty well. We found that one fish. Flathead will just sit on the bottom and wait for the feed to come to them. They're very good at camouflage, obviously. So they will just sit there. Generally they won't be cruising along you know, actively looking for food. So we've worked this area, we've found the fish, and then we might head up this way. There's a few rocky points that we can sit out on and get some really good casts into the current coming back towards us without being too close to the rocks there where we'll get snagged up and stuff. So second tip when chasing flathead, be mobile, be prepared to move around. So that's why I packed a bag of, you know, I've got just me jig heads, some leader, some scissors, and, you know, me lures and that. So just be prepared to be very mobile. Don't just sit in the one spot and cast for hours on end. Sure, you might still catch one or two that way, but generally we're searching for the fish. The fish aren't necessarily always going to come to us. So all right, not a bad start. We've caught a fish. See if we can find another one, eh? Yeah, there's one. That's a flathead, I think. Is it? Oh yeah, little legal one. There we go, he spat it. We're going to get a look at him, or are you going to get away? No, you're safe in there. Alrighty. Come out of there, mate. Oh. There we go, on that Samaki vibe. We just got him up in time before he spat it. He'd be he'd be legal, I reckon, maybe 40 centimetres. Let's get you back, mate. Oh, he's ready. What, are you going to sit right there? So my next tip today is going to be regarding the tide. Obviously fishing these rock walls like this, the higher tide will see the water come right up to these rocks here, and then obviously on the run out the water drops. So while the water's up like this and amongst these rocks, you'll see, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but down below at my feet there's literally thousands and thousands of jelly prawns all lined along the bank here. I'm a big believer there's no rules in fishing. You can still come out on a running tide or on a high tide and still cast your lure in and still have a great session on flathead. There could be other factors at play that we're not sure about, but generally as a rule, with the run out tide, as that water drops, all these little jelly prawns and mullet, other fish and stuff that are all going to be up in here feeding and seeking shelter, they're all going to be pushed and forced out into that deeper water, and predators like your brim, flathead, even dewies will cruise along here, and they'll be picking off the bait as it's getting pushed out of these rocks here. So run out tide's a good starting point, but yeah, that's just the idea around the run out tide. Oh, yep. Good bite. Dead weight so far. What do we got? Alright, she's kicking on a bit now. Get out of the oysters. Oh, it's a solid flathead. It's a really nice flathead, and it's swallowed that vibe whole. Stay on. Oh no, big risk. We got him. He's absolutely annihilated that vibe, and that's why we use that 12-pound leader. There you go. That's probably about a, I don't know, mid 50 centimetre flathead. And my vibe is right down his throat there. He's absolutely engulfed it. There we go, that's a nice land-based flathead. It was hooked really deep, but we took our time. We were able to remove that vibe without too much damage to the fish. He's had a bit of time out of the water now, so let's get him back in. It did take a bit of work to get that lure out, so we'll just spend a bit of time making sure he's okay. I didn't think we did too much damage in there, but we'll see how he goes. If he doesn't swim off okay, we'll keep him for dinner. It'll be a good feed on him. Oh, there he goes. Yes, good to see. See you, buddy. So that was our culprit. I do like this colour for flathead. I don't know what it is. I do generally prefer natural colours when it comes to fishing in general, fishing with lures. But that colour, that colour seems to do well. I've caught some nice flathead on this particular colour in both this Vibe and as well the Samaki Reddick, the hard body lure. They've got the same sort of colour patterns. But yeah, we just downsized. We've mostly been throwing this white bait one this morning. No, that's the 85 mil. I think it's 14 grams. This one's just a little bit smaller. This is the smaller size in the range, and it's 10 grams. And yeah, that brought that flathead undone right on the edge of where those oysters run down onto the bank of the river. So here you go, I'll show you a little trick now when you get a snag on these Vibes, because they are very prone to snags with those two trebles hanging down low. So when you feel like you've hit a snag, don't start setting your hook straight into it. Don't start pulling it straight away. I've picked up this snag, and what I'm going to do, I don't want to set the hook into it and bury it really into whatever it is. So what you do is just get your line like this, and then you want to create some tension in your rod so it bends over, and then give it a flick, let go. So just like that. What that does is like it slingshots it back the other way. Doesn't work 100% of the time, but I reckon I've saved a lot of money on these lures by being able to get out. I reckon you get out probably, I don't know, over 50% of them, I reckon. It's a bit harder to do in the small creeks, like when you're chasing bass and stuff. If you put it in some timber, that can be a bit trickier, especially if you've buried the hooks in it pretty good. But around here, these oysters, these rocks and stuff, generally will just be a bit stuck. You won't be setting the hook into things. You won't be burying the hook into the rock, if that makes sense. So a lot of the time you can slingshot them out. Oh, that was a good take. What do we got here? Oh, it's a brim. Little brimbo. He's not bad. Not a bad brim. He'd be close to legal. There we go, nice little brim at the boat ramp. There you go, buddy. Nice little brim in the boat ramp on the Vibe. In close to these rocks here. Those jelly prawns are all lined up in here. Yep. There's a fish. What do we got? It is a little bubby Dewey. Look at that. Tiny little fella. Look at that. Very cool. There we go. Nice little Dewey. Always welcome. Oh, there you go, buddy. There he goes. Don't go in there. There he goes. He's good. These vibes, very versatile. You know, we come here chasing flathead. Caught a few flathead, but they're also going to catch things like your brim and your little and your dewies as well. Yeah, there we go. What we got here? Feels a bit more like a flathead. Yeah, there he is. And this one's come on the clone prawn. Get up here, brother. Just thought I'd mix it up. There's a lot of jelly prawns hugging the bank in the Hunter River at the moment, and he's probably a 40 centimetre flathead. Just hopping him up off the bottom. Caught a few on the vibes now. Just thought we'd change it up. There you go, buddy. Very cool. Yeah, and again. How good's that? This one feels a little bit better, I think. Oh, I've just got this oyster ledge right in front of me. Yeah, he's a good one. He's inhaled that too. A little bit bigger than that last one. Might be a bit trickier to land. Yeah, there he goes. That's all right. He was a bit better, but yeah, tricky to land on these rocks at the moment. Actually, I should have brought him up in this way. There we go. Sometimes it just pays to make a little change. We were fishing with the vibes and we'd caught a few fish, but yeah, just that change to the prawn, and I've got 2 flathead in 2 casts. Great day for it. Whew, I'm actually getting hot. Proper glass out. There's another one. Maybe a little bit smaller this time. Yeah, little fella. Up he come. Oh. There you go. 3rd flathead on that Prolure Clone Prawn. See you, buddy. Found a few. Oh, yep. On again. Not much size again to this one. Probably the smallest. Oh yeah. That's what happens when you don't bring a net. Look at him just sitting there. You gonna go it again? Of course not. You're not that silly. Has the disrespect on me. Trying to catch him again. You're not that silly, are you, buddy? Although you are just sitting there. Go on, go back to the depths. There he goes. No, he's not. He's still sitting there. This thing just deadly. Spring has sprung, hey. Sitting on the rocks here, I'm hot. The floodies are well and truly on. Alright guys, thanks for watching today. It was an absolute perler of a day, as you can see, and yeah, we caught some nice fish, so can't complain about that. So if you enjoyed this type of video with, you know, a bit more of a how-to explanation of things, what I'm doing, I know it's real basics, but if you're a bit of a newbie or you haven't quite figured out lures yet, hopefully this video helped explain a few things, and if you do have any other questions, please feel free to leave a comment, send me a message on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. And yeah, as always, if you learned something or you enjoyed the video or anything like that, please support the channel. Let me know by commenting, liking, of course subscribe if you haven't done that already, and yeah, help me grow the channel, and I'll keep making videos. So cheers, thanks guys.